Joining me now from Jerusalem is Yaakov Katz, a senior columnist for the Jerusalem Post. Appreciate you being with us.
Thank you, Rosemary.
So let's start with the report that suggests Israel is offering to pause the fighting in Gaza for at least 1 week, maybe more, as part of a new deal to get Hamas to release more hostages. What's your reaction to this apparent offer made through Qatari mediators and sourced to 2 Israeli officials and a third source with knowledge of the situation?
Israel, as we know, has had 2 goals, 2 primary objectives during this war. The first is to degrade Hamas's capabilities, to topple its regime over the Gaza Strip, and to prevent it from ever being able to carry out the October 7th massacre-style attacks again. The second objective has been to secure the release of the hostages. There's now about 130 who are still being held in Gaza after 100 were released a few weeks ago under that previous pause in the fighting. Israel is trying to get those hostages home. Part of that has to do, the strategy is the ground offensive, putting the pressure on Hamas on the ground. But I think there are no illusions here, Rosemary. The government understands that at the end, they are going to have to make a deal with Hamas, similar to the one a few weeks ago, that would include a pause in the fighting, would include maybe the release of additional Palestinian prisoners like last time, and would also then see the release of some of the hostages that are still being held by Hamas in Gaza.
And of course, meantime, a UN vote on a resolution is set to take place in just a few hours from now. The UN Security Council apparently trying to get the United States on board in calls for a humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. Would you ever expect the US to support that resolution?
I think it's possible that the U.S. might support that resolution if the conflict and the war on the ground continues at the high intensity stage like it is right now, without a horizon of it moving from the high intensity stage with 3 to 4 divisions, thousands and thousands of Israeli soldiers on the ground, continued operations at a very high intensity level, and it doesn't move to a different phase. The Americans are giving Israel several more weeks, at least, maybe 4, maybe 6. It's the timeline or the window is not exactly clear, but the IDF, the Israel Defense Forces, does talk about requiring another 4 to 6 weeks to be able to continue and get done what it needs to in terms of hopefully reaching more of Hamas's central bases, more of the Hamas leadership, taking out some more of its key assets. That will take time. So I don't see that the Americans turning on that so quickly, but that could happen if they don't feel that there is a horizon that will change anytime soon.
And Benjamin Netanyahu again met with the families of hostages on Tuesday. Many still convinced the Prime Minister is not doing enough to get their loved ones freed. What does he need to do to change their minds and show that the lives of their loved ones are a top priority here?
You know, Rosemary, what happened over the weekend on Friday was a real tragedy when 3 Israeli hostages who had been held in Gaza for about 70 days walked out of a building just about 30, 40, 50 meters away from Israeli troops who were operating in the central Gaza Strip. And tragically, they were misidentified and they were shot and killed by those soldiers. So the families are definitely, and I would say legitimately so, very concerned. On the one hand, the government allowed, to some extent, for the failures of October 7th to take place and for Hamas to take their loved ones hostage. And at the same time, the operation on the ground is not yet bringing them home. And we see how close they are, right? They were just a few dozen meters away. And unfortunately, it ended with a tragic conclusion. So if the families of the hostages want to see the government do more. They don't necessarily believe that it's just the ground offensive on its own that is going to see their loved ones return safely. They want a deal. And that is what this pressure is about. That's why they met with the Prime Minister last night, is all aimed at getting him to give the green light for a new deal with the Qatari mediation to somehow, in some diplomatic way, bring their loved ones back to them.
Yaakov Katz in Jerusalem, many thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, meantime,